The current state of the economy is kicking my ass. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I feel like my fiance and I just work. We work and work and work and work just to pay bills, just to afford the house we have, to afford groceries, to make sure that everyone is comfortable. And a lot. It is a lot. And you guys can say, oh, the economy is great. Y'all, again, I voted for the current president. The economy is not great. I don't care what you're saying. Groceries have gone up exponentially. And I can say specific items because I buy the same specific items when I go to the store. I buy the same fries, milk, same fries, bread, same fries, this, that, and the other. And there's no reason for it to be increased, right? Gas. Oh my God. Gas is so unaffordable. And to get to work, you obviously have to buy the gas to get there. And that's unaffordable. And it's no one's getting raises, no one's getting bonuses. Like, I'm just stressed to the nines. And I don't know if it's just me, but I know 8 years ago when my fiance and I first were dating, we were able to put much more into savings. Life was much more affordable. And mind you, we were making less then. So obviously something isn't working.
This is sad on so many different levels. Where do you even begin? Well, look, this sort of thinking, I hope this isn't her household's like constant mindset and thinking like things are tough, things weren't like this before, what's going on, like disillusioned and all this different kind of stuff. You know why? Because that is not going to help you. I say this all the time. This is why I always say as well, it's like you can't you can't be someone who's relying on one source of income, especially if that one source of income is a job. Why? Because economies change, things change. She even said it 8 years ago, and I even chuckled then a little bit because forget about 8 years ago. We're not 8 years anymore. Like 8 years ago was 8 years ago. Things change. And when she even said that, one of the things I was thinking about, you know how the Bible talks about Joseph in Genesis? He was the guy who got the Egypt, right? The superpower of the day through their current famine. 7 years of plenty, 7 great years, and then 7 years of famine, right? Of lack. In the 7 years of prosperity, he was preparing for the time when things were difficult. So it's a powerful principle that we can use in any situation. When you are prosperous, when things are going well, for her, for example, and her husband, 8 years ago, they were newlyweds, they were able to put more money away for saving, etc. They were able to enjoy life. That was when you should have been preparing for now. Then, prepare then for now. When you're in a situation, when it's difficult, that's when you're supposed to look back and say, okay, what was I doing when things were better? It's going to now start speaking. This is why you can't just think to yourself, everything's always going to be rosy, because it's not. There's going to come a time for everybody when things aren't as buoyant, when things aren't as good. Those are what you call the lean years. Even businesses that are successful, they go in peaks and valleys. They're not always going to be making as much money. And again, back to the whole one stream of income thing, right? They're working jobs. This is why you need leverage. You need something on the side. You need a different stream of income, which isn't necessarily tied to the economy. So what I do and what I help other people do is create alternative avenues. Why? Because you want to create something which isn't contingent, isn't linked to how the economy is doing. You want to be able to make money whether the economy is doing good, whether the economy is doing bad, or whether the economy is stagnating and is flatlining. Back in the day, one of the things I used to do is I used to invest in the foreign exchange market, right? And that was such an example of a vehicle leverage where you can make money whether the economy is good, whether the economy is bad, whether the economy is flatlining. And what's even deep about that was it didn't even matter if it was the economy I was living in. Whether I was in the UK, whether I went to visit America, whether I went on holiday somewhere else, it didn't matter what the economy was doing, because we were taking advantage of a vehicle which wasn't necessarily contingent on how the economy was doing. If you work in a job, right, like a typical job, there's nothing wrong with it. But just be mindful to know that, okay, cool. One of the disadvantages of this situation is when the economy goes bad, my company that I work for has the potential to let me go. This is why people go through phases of unemployment, because they're tied to their company. If their company says it's time to go, it's time to go. But if you turn around and say, well, no, what are different ways I can actually leverage my skills, my expertise? How can I take those steps and make money from it and protect me, shelter me from these sorts of situations? If you start going down those pathways in tandem, I'm not even saying quit your job. I'm just saying think beyond your job. Because if you don't, this is how you're going to find yourself in these situations where you're going to be saying the economy is kicking your backside. I don't know about you, but I don't want the economy to kick my backside. I've never wanted the economy to kick my backside. That's why even still today, I continue to take steps for my family that put me in a situation where I'm not just focused on one stream of income. I always want to make sure I'm leveraging the skills that I have and the skills of the people in my network in order to create additional streams of income which can work and work successfully regardless of how the economy is doing. Because I never want to be tied to one stream of income. And that even applies to business, right? Don't get it twisted. As much as I'm a advocate and a evangelist for business, no pun intended, I'm still going to say to you, even when your business is being successful and producing results, diversify. Use a portion of that income and spread it out into different vehicles which can continue to pay you back, continue to produce income. If you don't, you will find yourself in a situation like this woman and other people that are complaining about the economy. And again, I'm going to say this now, listen, we all go through tough times. There's been times when paying for the groceries, paying for bills has been a struggle for us. And I'm saying that just to kind of give you additional context. My wife and I have been married for over 13 years and we have 6 children. So don't get it twisted. There have been difficult times and there may be difficult times again in the future. But what I know is the more I do today and prepare for tomorrow, the better things are going to be. So even when price goes up, I'll give you an example. Like, she's talking about fuel, right? The fuel in America is actually quite good, right? And this is coming from someone who lives in the UK. I remember when we went to America about 10 years ago, and we were paying for fuel and gassing up the car, and we were like, wow, like the fuel here is so much cheaper than in the UK. The UK's had crazy crazy spikes, right? High spikes in price, right? Recently. I always say to my wife, forget about the price of the fuel. And why am I saying that? Because if we are so concerned about the price of fuel, we're not focusing on the things that actually really matter. I want my family to focus on the fact that we are doing whatever we need to do in a biblical way, in a righteous way, in order to produce income for our household, that we are not concerned when they increase the prices of fuel. Why? Because let me just give you a vital business tip. Prices always go up. I always say to my wife, listen, you look at and study businesses. They will send you one email, one message a year at least. Prices are going up. Why? Because they understand that in the economy, prices are going up. So you need to continue to do things to increase your value, increase your leverage. So prices can go up for you. So when prices are going up in these different areas, you can still not be affected and you can continue to prosper. Guys, I'm going to leave it here for today's video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless.